Hi, here we are in Bredon, and I'm going out. I'm going to go around Bredon Hill um, for the first time this spring, really. The time has now come to put some miles on the bike, get the first service behind me. I've got all the controls on the bike where I want them, and after I got back from this ride, I altered the levers on the handlebar. I brought them both in one click because they're quite far out on the tech bike parts handlebars as is on the maximum setting. So they're great now. The gear change is just so much easier with the gap between the tip of the gear change lever and the peg increased again by the tech bike parts that I've had fitted. The rear end, I just had the new shockers put in. All I can say is I didn't notice it at all during this ride, so that can just stay as it is until it beds in, and undoubtedly I'll be taking the preload up a point or two at some stage in the future. But everything is just like while I'm riding along on this ride now. Everything is just falling to hand. It's in the right place. I'm not having to think about it. The big one is the gear change being much easier, and not having to sort of not contort your foot, but because the gap was so small between the tip of the gear change and the peg on the previous setup, I was finding I was having to move my foot out, then down, then back underneath the gear change lever, and then hook it up. With the tech bike parts ones, it seems to be the peg seems to be out a bit further, so that when your initial move can be down then across, so it just cuts out one whole move, and it's just easier, And as I say, I'm doing it without thinking now, which is a sign I'm settling into the bike. The preload spaces in the front that went in, well, I didn't notice, although I wasn't particularly looking for it, any fork dive, whereas before I was beginning to just notice that there was quite a bit. But I'm still restricted to 4,000 revs, so this isn't a fast run by any manner of means. But what I am going to do is zoom around Bredon Hill, which is an absolutely excellent track, I think, for running it in, because as you'll see, it's very windy little country lanes, plus a stretch of this sort of stuff either end, at the beginning and the end of the journey, so good for running in, I think. And also, I just really like this camera, this Insta360 camera. It produces such good footage. I wasn't really thinking of doing another vid until I got the first service over and was out to 6,000 revs to get a bit more out of the bike. But it's just such a lovely day. It's the first sunny ride of the season. It felt great to get out, and I just thought I'd put it up on YouTube. Why not? The problem I'm having with the Insta360 is actually crunching the files, because I am using a 7-year-old iMac, and actually crunching this first 30-minute clip that came out of the camera that I'm using today took about 5 hours to process. And I've only done one edit, which is when we go through Elmley Castle. We look to the left at the cricket pitch. There's no one playing cricket there at the moment. In fact, there's a couple of goalposts. But that'll look really nice come the summer. So when we look to the left, you'll know we're in Elmley Castle. And I tried a new method for recording sound on this one, which was to have a wired microphone connected to an Android phone, and the microphone, which has got one of those wind-cheating fluffy things on it. I obviously didn't have far enough up in the helmet, because it was picking up way more engine noise than it was me talking, to be honest. It probably isn't a very good microphone or something like that. I probably need to spend more money on a good microphone. So what I thought I'd do was I went to the YouTube library, downloaded the longest songs I could find, and I'm going to add that. So just for the hell of it, really, here is a little trip around Bredon Hill. And at the end, I'll just show you the town bit, because the big news from this ride is it didn't cut out once, which is fantastic. It's 25 miles, almost exactly 25 miles from, when I take it out the garage, go around Bredon Hill, come back. Not one cutout. It never felt like cutting out. Not that it did before. The cutouts were really, really sudden, but I didn't have one. So it's increased my confidence in the bike tremendously. It felt really nice to be on. I'm looking forward to the engine loosening up, and obviously the next hurdle is the 6,000 rev limit, which is only 100 miles away now. So 4 times around Bredon Hill it'll be done and dusted. And one day this week I'm gonna do this a few times if the weather holds, and drop in the garage to make sure I've signed up the mechanic to service it, because he's a real mechanic, He does my MG, which is a bit of a sort of specialist car, and I trust him with it implicitly because he understands it. It's a good mechanic, and I'd be very happy indeed if he did the bike. If not, I'll take it to Bod's, which I'm sort of equally happy with. But it makes sense to have the same guy do my bike and car, really. I think of getting rid of the car anyway, to be quite honest. This might be the last year I have a car. And that's it, really. So what I'm going to do, as well as passing on the great news about it not cutting out, is add some music from this point on. But I'd also just like to say how this cutting out problem, and Royal Enfield apparently know about it, and they're carrying on. Well, I'm not going to criticise anyone now, but just the whole performance, completely ruined buying a new bike, the point of which is, you're not expecting any faults, let alone critical ones, where it cuts out 3 times going down bloody High Street. Yeah, and as I say, I've added on the end a little bit of town work, and we can listen to the engine on that one rather than music. I'll stop the music there, and you can listen to the engine in town, because there's no wind noise, obviously, disturbing it all. That was a nice BSA, an old BSA that passed us just then. And yeah, I'm doing it just for the hell of it. You might want to see what the little villages and the countryside around here look like. And this is it, with the glorious footage that comes from the Insta360. So, thanks very much for watching this video. I'll check out now, stop blabbering, add the music, and leave you to it. Thanks once again. Right, we'll just come to the end of this bit, and what I'll show you now is the in-town footage. It's just a minute or so long, and you can listen to the engine.
There's still a bit of me thinking it's going to cut out.